Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Holland, and I wanted to share with you some of the technologies that I use in my classroom. I teach first grade, so we actually teach a phonics program called Success for All, um, Reading Interactive Roots program. So it's basically how to teach students what certain letter sounds make and how to go about breaking them down when they are reading those letter sounds. So I'm going to introduce you to that program that I use first. So I'm just going to click on our link, Reading Roots Interactive. So the Reading Roots Interactive program has different ways to go about using the platform. You can go by the lesson that you're on, which is these stories. I'm currently on lesson 11, the costume party. Or you can go and teach your lessons based on all of the letter sounds that correlate with the book that you're teaching. But I'm going to go to the costume party. And basically, this program actually breaks down everything for you. There is a teacher manual that you can use to follow, or you can just use the interactive smartboard. I find that the kids really love this program because it is so engaging. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about what the program does. So like, let's say I'm on my lesson. We're at the point where we're going to break it down. Make sure my volume's all the way up. So this character is called Alfie, and he's going to say a word fast, and then the kids are encouraged to break it down and tap out the letter sounds as they're going along.
Eggs.
So since he said eggs, I would then call on a student and say, hey, break down eggs for me. Eggs. Eggs. Breaking it down and then saying it fast. And then you would just hit check mark. They did it, and it'll show you how it's done.
Eggs. Eggs.
So there is kind of a lag with this program when it comes to breaking it down. So what I choose to do is I have Alfie model the first word that they're going to break down, and then I initiate the rest of the words, just so we can save time, because there is a 40-minute period a 40-minute block that is allotted for roots. But again, in those 40 minutes, they're required to do a lot, and also end that root session with partner reading. But I find that the kids really love it. It's very interactive. They have these letter cards that help the kids remember what sounds certain letters make, and little limericks that go with it.
Yank the yellow yo-yo.
Again, they're all very kid-friendly picture cards that will go with it here. And one of the things that my kids love, I happen to teach the lowest roots group, which means they're actually below grade level for reading. They find these little cartoons very helpful and fun. I'm not going to play it just for sake of time, but with this interactive program, I actually use another platform just for assessment purposes. I like to keep hold of where my students are as we're progressing through Roots. So I actually use another program. I'm just going to pull up my Roots tracker. So this is all done on Google Docs. The entire first grade can use this to figure out where our students are. So these are all of the assessments based on certain letter sounds. You see the SH here. So my kids would say SH says sh, Z says z, W says w. So they have to be able to read all of these sounds and write them. And then there are certain words that they can stretch and read and stretch and spell. And if they are unsuccessful at doing those, we put a 0, and then we can backtrack where certain kids need certain help. So I started at assessment 3, 4, and it goes all throughout the entire book. That is also partnered with that program that I just showed you. And because we use Success for All, I did a little bit of research when I first started this job, just to find out like why we chose the programs that we chose, why we think those are the best of the best. So in doing my research, I actually came across an article about why Success for All is successful, and I have it right here. It's actually an article that is written for Education World, and I like reading their articles. I think that they're obviously very teacher friendly, and I try to stay up to date with all of the latest technologies and trends. So what makes Success for All so successful? So SFA is used in a ton of different schools, and it really breaks down what the program does for young readers and where it began. And the best part of it is that it is accessible for parents. So at Success Academy, we actually give our families the login information that we use for the school so they can actually do these things at home with their students. And I find that that's very helpful and, again, interactive. So teaching your children how to read at home is not such a tedious and unnerving task. But I found that this article was really eye-opening in why we chose to use such a phonics program in our school. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend Success for All, and especially their Roots program. I know the kindergarten classes at our school use another one of their programs called Stepping Stones. So those are the two technologies that I use that help me to assess student learning and to communicate with parents. Because the parents have the option to use it at home, it's really helpful. There's homework assignments on there. But again, they then can see the letter sounds that their children are having a difficult time with. So that's